Thank you for making this exciting day so much more memorable for us. It was 7 years ago when my parents decided to enroll me at Valor for my 6th grade year. I remember the day I was given the chance to look inside the building in after school hours. Now, I'd practically grown up with my grandfather's stories of his Catholic education of our Mother of Sorrows, and 60 years ago, believe it or not, and how all of his teachers were these strict nuns with rulers who would whack his fingers every time he got a question wrong. And so, as I walked the long hallway to the lower classrooms, my naive 12-year-old mind kept imagining my future educators as women with long black cloaks who would walk around the classroom with rulers ready to whack my fingers. Turns out, my teacher that year was not a nun, nor were any of the teachers I had in the future. I was unaware at the time that these future educators would become the best group of teachers I could ever have. They became my role models, my inspirational leaders, and my friends. Without them and their wonderful support, I doubt I would be as fortunate and successful as I am today. In addition, there are so many fantastic memories that I've shared with them over the years. I remember preparing for a 10th grade field trip for Mr. Fleener's class, which was to this German restaurant. Mr. Fleener had told us in advance that we were to order in German to practice our skills. So for the days leading up to the trip, I'm looking up their menu and practicing for hours how to say chicken fingers and fries in this language. The day finally arrives, and I'm just bursting with excitement to express my fluent Handschuhsprache and to impress Mr. Fleener. And the waitress didn't even speak German. Then the school van broke down, and when we tried getting the spare tire from the back, turns out that one was flat too. And Mr. J had to drive an hour to pick us up in freezing weather. But at least I got my chicken strips, so. Another favorite memory would have to include the day the school learned that Mr. Mason can break dance, surprisingly well, which had to be the most amusing thing I've ever learned about a science teacher before. In his classes, all you had to do was mention a scientific concept, and he would launch into this extensive and interesting conversation piece. By the time the bell rang and your conversation was cut short, you realized that you asked him about number 9 on last night's homework, and you spent the past 30 minutes talking about Star Wars. Speaking of movies, Miss Franklin's classes were always so fascinating because she integrated modern media into her curriculum. In psychology, we learned about divergent thinking while, of course, watching the Divergent movies, and cognitive power with BBC Sherlock. Besides utilizing that interesting approach to learning, Miss Franklin has always been that teacher to go to for a conversation about anything, from the episode of The Flash you watched last night to that college class you're stressing about. Everyone familiar with Miss Banger knows about her infinite math knowledge, as I like to call it. Regardless of what grade you're in, or how old you are, or whatever concept you're struggling with, if you have a math question, you go to Miss Banger. I loved her math classes, except the lesson about the sums of infinite geometric series, which I still cannot wrap my head around. I will really miss participating in her drama club, witnessing all the hilarious improv moments that would make her want to cry and laugh at the same time. My favorites. Now, although I have achieved several things throughout my high school education, I would have to admit I'm very, very proud of surviving Miss Robertson's classes. I believe my fellow seniors would agree with me when I say that the worst days in that class were when assignments were due. Not because we were worried about our grade, but because we knew 3 more assignments would immediately take its place. The work was arduous and time-consuming and hard, but I appreciate it now because it's broadened my understanding on a multitude of topics. Now, I only lost like 50 hours of sleep and maybe some social skills, but it was worth it, guys. Last but not least, Mr. Day, our headmaster and occasionally our teacher. Now, instead of teaching a normal subject like math or science, he taught auto, life skills, and philosophy, where we deep-fried donuts and debated whether dogs go to heaven. Sometimes in class, he would put on this deadpan headmaster J expression, and you never knew if he was angry or just kidding or what until you got him to laugh, which was the best moment. The grade I received for his exam in the class was based off of how well my group constructed a gingerbread house, which was like awesome, but a little different, I must admit. Unfortunately, I still don't know how to change the oil in our car. Our graduating class may not have too many shared memories of the school, since we have many new faces this year. I'm sure that our paths will diverge a little once we graduate. However, I do believe that we are 6 young women determined to succeed in whatever path we may choose. Whether we are nurses, or physical therapists, or computer engineers, or morticians, or whatever, we are going to succeed. Thank you.